Good afternoon, everyone. Today, myself, Rikki, Elly, and Jarrod are going to be presenting a presentation about integrated learning in the aim to expand everyone's knowledge and approaches within this area. We hope that by the end of our presentation, you will have all gained a greater practical understanding and appreciation of integrated studies. An integrated curriculum is an approach to learning and teaching that meaningfully connects knowledge, skills, and understandings from within or across subject areas in the aim to advantage all teachers and learners. By using an integrated curriculum, teachers and students are provided with a more genuine, rich, real-world context for learning that focuses on big ideas and more efficient means of gathering, organising, and processing information. In the past, traditional forms of integrated education have been based on industrial-age teaching methods that are teacher-centered, textbook-based, lacking authentic experiences, and where children just copied text straight from the chalkboard into their books. This was because children were being prepared for the industrial era for occupations that existed in society at the time. There are many different models of integration that integrate across several disciplines. Teachers in the past taught using the interdisciplinary approach that used mainly a fragmented model of integration. As you can see here in Fogarty's model of integration, the interdisciplinary approach only occurs within subject areas, unlike the multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary approach, which occur between subject areas, and the transdisciplinary that occurs beyond subject areas. The interdisciplinary approach includes fragmented, connected, and nested models of integration, as you can see in the image on the screen. A fragmented model of integration is the traditional design for organising the curriculum. This views the curriculum through a periscope offering one site at a time, where disciplines are taught by different teachers in different locations and in isolation from other disciplines. This can include children moving from room to room, teachers explicitly teaching or using direct instruction, daily schedules with distinct time slots, and classes that may end with students being told to put away their maths book and get out their science books, with no recognition of the maths that may occur in science. This leaves students with a fragmented view of the curriculum. Another model of the interdisciplinary approach is the connected model. As you can see in the image of the screen, it's the middle one. In the connected model, the curriculum is viewed through an opera glass, where disciplines still remain separate just like the fragmented view, but explicit connections are made within each subject area. In the connected model, within each subject area, course concepts are connected, topic to topic, 1 year's work to the next, and there is a deliberate effort to relate ideas within the discipline rather than assuming that students will automatically understand. This type of model could include the use of simple and random topics such as colours, pirates, and dinosaurs to drive content topics. These types of topics are unmeaningful and don't build an understanding about children's society or the world that they live in. Topics in this model would be loosely linked and forced rather than genuine and meaningful links. The third model in the interdisciplinary approach is the nested model. As you can see the picture on the screen, it's the third one. In this model, the curriculum is viewed through three-dimensional glasses that instead target multiple dimensions of a lesson. This may include a teacher targeting social, thinking, and a concept-specific skill within each subject area. By teaching in the interdisciplinary approach, you will be aligning with the views of theorist Jean Piaget. Piaget believed that children learnt in stages of development, moving through different mental stages where one could not move to the next stage until the previous one was complete. This also meant that children could not learn new experiences or develop further than what the developmental stage they were in. The stages were based off the age of the child, and this theory helped to frame curriculums for quite some time. It is important to also explain that the interdisciplinary approach, although a past model of integration, still has a relevant place today. When teaching or showing children a specific skill or rule, this form of explicit teaching is needed. Rules and formulas need to be taught in this way. Teachers amongst themselves can also use this traditional way by listing and ranking curricular topics, concepts, or skills that they can begin to sift out the curricular priorities within their own content areas. In some areas, younger children may also need to be explicitly taught before they can start learning to integrate in the later years. The most important thing to remember is that every teacher has different experiences and approaches to integrating the curriculum. There is no wrong or right way, but instead at appropriate times depending on the teacher's and learner's needs. Thank you for listening, and I will now hand it over to Elly, who will be moving on to more current integrated curriculum approaches.
Thanks, Rikki. Hi everyone, my name is Elly Barnett and today I'm going to demonstrate how the curriculum has evolved over time from the past, as Rikki discussed earlier, to the present. I'm going to place emphasis around meeting student learning needs of the 21st century by looking at the multidisciplinary approach. I'm also going to look at Fogarty's model of integration, specifically the threaded and shared approach, in order to demonstrate how we can effectively modernize the curriculum to meet the learning needs of 21st century students. Firstly, we will be looking at defining and understanding present-day integrated curriculum approaches. In today's society, students can no longer simply memorize a bunch of facts to pass a test. Instead, they need to be lifelong learners who can problem solve complex issues and creative thinkers who can innovate in a world with open access to knowledge. In order to resolve some of the issues associated with developing 21st century capabilities, an integrated curriculum can better prepare students for the future. As described earlier, we used to work in a fragmented way within the curriculum, teaching within single subject areas. But in today's society, that is not sustainable or efficient. The Australian curriculum has shifted from single subject areas to a much more relevant, contemporary and engaging curriculum. The implementation of general capabilities and cross-curriculum approaches throughout the AC has played a significant role in equipping young Australians to live and work successfully in the 21st century. These general capabilities and cross-curriculum approaches offer opportunities to add depth and richness to student learning. As you can see in the image of the cube on your screen, the Australian curriculum now has 3 dimensions with an integrated and interconnected set of knowledge, skills, behaviours and dispositions that apply across subject-based content. Now, if we look at the Year 5 learning area of Humanities and Social Science, we can clearly see in the bottom content descriptor how personal and social capabilities, ethical understandings, and critical and creative thinking has been incorporated into the learning area by the use of small icons. This multi-dimensional curriculum equips students in becoming lifelong learners who are able to operate with competence in a complex, information-rich and globalized world. When looking at 21st century integration, the multidisciplinary approach is generally where these thematic connections are made. Through this approach, a theme is considered from the perspective of multiple disciplines, thereby providing more clarity and the opportunity for deeper understanding. As seen in the image on your screen, the multidisciplinary approach organizes standards from the disciplines around a theme. An example of this approach may be selecting a core theme such as a book about a small boat making its way through the ocean, and linking it to other subject areas such as mathematics, exploring directions, science, understanding earth processes, and sustainability, understanding how environmental systems interact. As such, multidisciplinary instructions help students connect and use information that they have learned from one discipline to address the problem at hand and situations within the real world. Fogarty's model of integration looks across several disciplines of the curriculum through the shared model. The shared model of integration views the curriculum through binoculars, bringing 2 distinct disciplines together into a single, focused image. This model uses overlapping concepts as organizing elements, as seen in the image, and involves shared planning and teaching. For example, 2 members of a partnership plan the unit of study by focusing on common topics, concepts, and skills. As the team identifies these commonalities, they identify overlaps in content. In a primary setting, a self-contained teacher might plan a science unit, observing properties, and a mathematics unit, data representation, around the concept of volcanic eruptions. Another model in the multidisciplinary approach is the threaded model. The threaded model to integration is a meta-curricular approach where big ideas are enlarged. Using this approach, interdepartmental teams can focus on thinking skills to integrate within content information. The threaded approach takes learning to a synthesis level. That is, teachers incorporate into their teaching strategies such as thinking skills, social skills, multiple intelligences, and self-reflection. For example, a teacher may ask a student, "What do you think about that?" Or "What thinking skills do you use and find most helpful in solving the problem?" By teaching the multidisciplinary approach, you will be aligning with the views of theorist Lev Vygotsky. His theory suggests that learning is actively and socially constructed and occurs in a specific context. Further learning builds upon what one already knows, which is based upon previous experiences. As such, classroom activity is co-constructed, guided by students and the knowledge and understanding they bring to a lesson. There are no general stages of development as seen in Piaget's theory. Instead, there is an emphasis on scaffolding or supporting children in order to get to the next stage or level. This theory and its link to the multidisciplinary approach of integration places emphasis around collaborative learning in order to establish these socio-cultural approaches. In fact, it is believed that the multidisciplinary teaching gets the whole school, teachers, parents, and community involved. This is because it facilitates team and collaborative activities. Teachers share classroom activities, worksheets, and resources with other. Parents also get involved as they work collaboratively with teachers to address students' learning needs and issues. And students learn collaboratively as they do group or pair projects and presentations.
Welcome, teachers. As Elly and Rikki have both stated, today we'll be presenting to you our findings about 21st century integration and integrated learning. We are hoping to develop everyone's knowledge and approaches within this area. My name is Jared and I will be discussing the third and final method, the transdisciplinary approach. I'm hoping by now you all have developed a deeper understanding of integrated learning and an understanding and appreciation for the inclusion of integration within our teachings. The three key concepts that we will be focusing on are the intradisciplinary approach, multidisciplinary approach, which my colleagues have both explained, and now finally the transdisciplinary approach to education, which focuses solely on preparing students to succeed in the 21st century by learning how to learn, developing communication, creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills to become lifelong learners. Throughout this presentation, I'll be focusing on the immersed approach and networked approach from Fogarty, integrated to the curriculum figure that focuses on learning within and across different students' abilities. I will also be focusing on the transdisciplinary approach to integration, specifically Fogarty's integration, with a curriculum, immersed and networked approaches to accomplish the best from students, whilst focusing on the content within and across learners. This will be the focus, as it can be argued that this approach can be the most effective way to develop students of the 21st century life, ready for the needs and requirements that they will need throughout their education and working lives. Firstly, I'll be talking about the transdisciplinary approach, an approach that has been created to cater towards the needs of the 21st century learner and citizens. Teachers of the present and future solely focus on their planning and teaching using this model of integrated approach. As you can see on the screen, Fogarty's model of integration, the transdisciplinary approach, only occurs between the subject area, unlike the other two discipline areas which you have heard today, which occur within the subject areas and between the subject areas. The transdisciplinary approach considers real-life considerations which thrive from real-life experiences and knowledge when creating and approaching a unit of work for your students. As you can see on the screen, the transdisciplinary approach focuses more on the subjects that will benefit the students with their journeys throughout their lives by educating them on the topics that will be at the forefront of their jobs and interests. Rather than focusing on maths and English, the educator is to focus their teaching around the social sciences and economics, subjects that will benefit the students in their futures. The educator uses these core subjects to develop their teaching plan and then individualize from there. Individualized learning plans using these core subjects will develop a sense of success in the 21st century by learning how to develop communication, creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills to become a lifelong learner. The first approach within the transdisciplinary method that we will be focusing on here today is the immerse approach. The immerse model of integration is the first example from Fogarty's table on how to integrate the curriculum for the transdisciplinary approach. This model is used to view the curriculum through a theoretical microscope. For a personal development learning plan, this approach filters through the content of the curriculum and selects samples using students' interests and expertise. Fogarty states that, as an immersed learner, it is a labor of love. It seems that everything I choose to pursue with any further is directly related to my field. Furthermore, a child who has an interest in a topic will generally carry the interest over into multiple subjects. For example, if your student enjoys the sport of football, they will tend to write about football, draw any artwork regarding any aspect of football, and use soccer balls as a technique to count within mathematics. The second approach that will be discussed is the networked approach. This model of integration views the curriculum through a prism, creating multiple dimensions and views of exploration and explanation. Using this approach to develop each student's understandings of their own direct integrated approach. The importance of this approach is to also view other students' own experiences and understandings of the subject involving all students throughout your class. Two theories and pedagogies that support and influence the use of this approach is the Benjamin Bloom and Yuri Profibiner models of development. The Bloom taxonomy model on the left explains how everything in a child and the child's environment affects how a child grows and develops. He labeled different aspects or levels of the environment that influence children's development, including the microsystem, mesosystem, ecosystem, and macrosystem. Secondly, the Bron-Fenrenner model on the right is the ecological system theory, also called development in context or human ecology theory. Identifies 5 environmental systems with which an individual interacts. The theory offers a framework through which community psychologists examine individual relationships within communities and their wider society. In conclusion, I hope that myself, Rikki, and Elly has shed some light on integrative learning and to expand your knowledge and approaches within this area, as well as your development of understandings, knowledge, and skills within and across the subject areas. We hope that you all now have a deeper understanding of the 3 approaches, multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and interdisciplinary approaches that focuses on the big ideas and efficiency of gathering and organizing your ideas. Hopefully after this you all will be able to incorporate this into your own teaching and learning. Thank you.